You know that feeling, right? That afternoon crash or just feeling kind of sleepy most of the time? Well, if you do, you are definitely not alone. It's one of the most common complaints people have. But what if the real reasons you're so tired are hiding in plain sight, in some of your most normal, everyday habits? All right, let's dive in and uncover the surprising science behind your daily energy.
So, just how common is this? Get this, over half of all adults say they feel tired on most days of the week. That is a staggering number. It basically turns what feels like a personal problem into this huge shared experience. The point is, it's not just you. It's like we're in the middle of a modern fatigue epidemic.
So where do we even start to look for answers? We're always told to fix our bad habits, but what if one of the most criticized habits of all, hitting that snooze button, isn't actually the villain we've made it out to be? Could the secret to a better morning really be hiding right there? Okay, let's start with the very first decision you make every single day. For so many of us, it's that choice. Wake up now or steal just a few more minutes of sleep. Well, it turns out there's a really fascinating secret behind that snooze button.
So here's the deal. It all comes down to this thing called sleep inertia. That's just the fancy scientific term for that awful grogginess and brain fog you feel right when you wake up. How bad it is depends entirely on which sleep stage your alarm yanks you out of. Getting jolted awake from deep N3 sleep, that feels like a total system crash. But waking up from a lighter sleep stage, that's more like a smooth, gentle startup.
And this is where the new thinking on snoozing gets really cool. A recent study actually found that for people who always hit the snooze button, giving themselves a 30-minute snooze window prevented them from being woken up during that deep, groggy sleep stage. In fact, not a single person in the study woke up from deep sleep when they were allowed to snooze. So instead of being a sign of laziness, that snooze button can act like a buffer, letting your brain gently shift into a lighter sleep stage before you actually have to get up for good.
And it makes perfect sense when you look at why people say they hit snooze. The top reasons have nothing to do with being lazy. They're all about trying to manage that tough transition. People say they feel too tired to wake up, or they just want to wake up more slowly and softly. They're basically, instinctually, using the snooze button to fight off the worst parts of that sleep inertia.
Okay, so we've seen how our wake-up routine can make a huge difference. But of course, what we do after we get out of bed is just as important. So let's shift gears and look at how the food we eat can either fuel our day or leave us feeling totally drained.
The key to understanding this is something called the glycemic index, or GI. The easiest way to think about it is like a speed rating for your food. Foods with a high GI get turned into blood sugar super fast. And you know the saying, what goes up that quickly must come crashing down, and it takes your energy levels right down with it.
We all know the usual suspects, right? Candy, soda, pastries, no big surprise there. But look at this other column. These are the hidden culprits. White rice, a lot of popular breakfast cereals, even potatoes. They might seem harmless or even healthy, but your body breaks them down into sugar so quickly that they can lead to the exact same energy crash you'd get from a donut. Now, while food plays a massive role in our energy, there's another key ingredient that so many of us just forget about, and that's water. Let's talk about how something as simple as hydration can make or break how you feel all day long.
Okay, this is so important. Look at the very first symptom on this list, fatigue. It's not just a symptom of dehydration, it's one of the absolute first signs. Before you even start to feel thirsty, your body's lack of water can show up as that sluggish, tired feeling you just can't seem to shake. So, are we getting enough? Well, for most of us, the answer is a big no. Experts recommend about 15.5 cups of fluid a day for men and 11.5 for women. Now, that does include water from food, but it still means that most of us need to be drinking a lot more plain old water to keep our engines running smoothly. All right, so we've looked at waking up, we've looked at eating, and we've looked at drinking. Now let's pull it all together into a simple daily reset plan. Just a few small habits that can have a huge impact on your energy levels.
First up, move your body. I know. When you're tired, the last thing you want to do is exercise. But it's kind of a paradox. Even just 15 minutes of movement can kickstart your metabolism. Second, be smart about your caffeine. A couple of cups are fine, but too much or having it too late in the afternoon will absolutely sabotage your sleep quality later. And finally, disconnect. That blue light from your phone at night directly messes with the deep restorative sleep you need to feel energized the next day.
So, after going through all these different pieces of the energy puzzle, what's the big picture here? What does all this science really boil down to? Here's the most important thing to remember. There is no single magic bullet.
Managing your energy isn't about finding one quick fix. It's a constant process. It's about understanding the science behind all these small choices, from hitting snooze to what you grab for lunch to when you finally put your phone away at night and realizing how they all add up. So, as you go about your day, try to think of your energy not as something you either have or you don't, but as something you actively build with every small decision. And that leaves just one question. Which small change are you going to start with tomorrow?